Yo, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. This is your boy Santana Thomas, and my special guest is back again.
Tyra.
Not Tyra Banks, just Tyra. Tyra Banks is
working on the banks.
All right, so today's topic is going to be very controversial, but we're going to leave it to you guys, and we're going to give you our opinion, our honest opinion about the topic. So let's just go ahead and get started.
Gorgeous, Tess. Thank you.
Model Tess Holliday, known for her bright red hair and body positivity. She's amassed over 2 million followers on Instagram and major brand partnerships. But below the surface, Tess says she's been suffering with an eating disorder.
I wasn't taking care of myself in the way I needed. I wasn't looking after my mental health in the ways that I should have. I was always making sure that everyone else's cup was full and I wasn't filling my own. So I think that's how I went so long without really being able to address, myself and my disordered eating.
The 35-year-old mother of two says her decades-long disordered eating caught up to her in the last year.
I would go all day without eating, and I would chalk it up to, I'm busy, I'm this. But the thing is, I had hunger pain all day, and I was sick all day. Oh, I'm busy, I'm a mom, I'm this, I'm working, I'll eat later. But later never happened. And then at nighttime, usually when my kids were in bed and I could settle, I would eat one meal, and then I would go to bed.
Holliday sought help and now says she has a form of anorexia, a revelation that has received some support, as well as anger and skepticism.
I am plus size, but advocating for diversity in larger bodies. And so.
Okay. So my only issue with the simple fact is that how can you be anorexic? Even when you looked it up earlier, atypical anorexia, that is still somebody who has this disorder of trying to not eat as much because they have the fear of gaining weight. But in her instance, she is still big.
Yeah.
So how can you be diagnosed with something that is the opposite of what you are, but you say that's what you are? That's the only thing I don't understand is how can you be anorexic, but you're overweight? Even if she was trying to not eat as much as she claims.
I think that maybe it's just what she thinks. You know what I mean? I think maybe she just feels like she may be anorexic. Cause so far I haven't heard that she has an actual true diagnosis of anorexia. So
right. Well,
I'm almost like,
yeah, me too. So we're going to just go continue watching it then.
Yeah, cause I'm confused a little bit.
Well, I think
maybe somebody's going to verify that.
Me say I'm anorexic was really jarring and hard and confusing. I've had a lot of messages from folks that are anorexic that are livid and angry because they feel like I'm lying.
What do you want to say to people who don't believe you, who are skeptical when you say you're anorexic?
To folks that don't believe me, that I'm anorexic and that this is what I'm dealing with, it doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, this is my truth. If this resonates with you, if you need help, get help. If this helps you feel less alone, great. It's so much more powerful just to say, hey, I'm hurting. And if you're hurting too, that's okay.
Okay, I want to pause again. All right, so I agree with her on the simple fact that if you're suffering from some type of disorder to actually reach out and try to get help, because you never know, somebody could, support that on that aspect and actually go out and help you get help, because I think some people, for her instance, is confused. You know what I'm saying? She don't necessarily know what's going on.
I feel bad for her. I can see her confusion through the screen. I'm really, literally, I feel so bad for her. This is, you can almost really tell that this is real. She's really going through some things, and I hope that I'm glad that she's using this platform for body positivity. And, everybody goes through their different struggles. And you are confused and don't really have all the answers but at least she's, doing something about it and trying to get the proper help. And on top of that, trying to help others that may be going through what she's going through.
Right.
You don't have to do this alone.
Tess having the willingness to speak out about her experience, acknowledging some of the backlash that she's receiving, is an indication of extraordinary bravery and an indication of, her health and healing and some of her process.
Tess confided in the counsel of Anna Sweeney, specializing in eating disorders, who says Tess has atypical anorexia.
Atypical anorexia, which would imply the same physiological characteristics of anorexia nervosa, except for body size, accounts for anywhere between 2 and 4% of the population.
Tess says it was her psychologist who initially diagnosed her, a shock, even for the model.
Okay, it just does not make sense, because if you have anorexia, that means you had a fear of eating, which would mean you would starve yourself throughout the day. Why has she not lost any weight at all?
She is larger.
Thyroid?
So, she might have other issues too that make it harder for her to lose weight. So that could be a part of it. Also, I think that.
So, like, what would be like the number one cause of like being her size?
Eating a lot, maybe.
But she says she doesn't eat it. Yeah, but she says she does not eat at all, though. That's the thing.
She might have.
She has the fear of eating, apparently.
Well, she could have some mental health issues along with it.
Yeah.
And I also think this is going to help shine a light on things that go on in Hollywood. Basically, if you have a certain amount of money, you can pay any psychologist or whatever to go along with whatever diagnosis you done made up in your head. You could go to a psychologist and tell them, like, if you have money now, we're in that time where if you have money, you can go to the doctor right now and tell them you need pain pills and things, and you're going to get prescribed certain things just based on what you told them is wrong with you or made up in your mind. It's a lot of people doing that. So I do believe that she believes that she has anorexia, and she's got this psychologist on her side now.
This one psychologist out of millions and millions of psychologists in the world.
The psychologist has a book. What did it say? My body, my business. It said my body, my business.
And that's
so
cool.
When you think about it, she's going to gain some money off of it.
Exactly.
Really. A lot of things will go back to your bag. They're going back to getting that money off of it.
And it's all that matters at the end of the day. So
I'm
even
sure
if
she's being paid for all this, all these interviews she's going to do and all that kind of stuff, I'm sure she's going to. People are great at pretending, because clearly she's great at it. She has a great personality.
Crazy, right.
She's TikTok personality.
Mm-hmm.
People like that usually are great at creating scenes, scenarios, and situations that will get them more money.
Yeah, that will generate more views and more support
generate more,
and more
this
money.
This is gonna get her. Maybe the plus size women weren't really liking her as much as she thought.
Right.
Maybe this will gain her not only some plus size followers, but a few anorexic ones too. You never know. This girl is actually, when you think about it, she's
smart,
a genius. She's very smart.
That's funny you say that, right? Because I actually was hoping for you to disagree with me a lot of things with this video, but you made some good points that I was actually going to make, with the simple fact that maybe this is all just a publicity stunt, and this is just her way of trying to get more attention, so that way she can get more followers, so that way she can get more support, and that way she can get more money. And I think that she might have paid that psychologist off to support her and her anorexia disorder.
Because that's why she couldn't even be like regular anorexic. She had to come up with a form of it.
Yeah, a form of it.
Atypical.
And it's so crazy, right? Because I believe that the interviewer that's interviewing her don't believe the bullshit. She just has to go along with it, because
she's just there.
She's also getting paid to do what she has to do.
To interview her. She's just doing
her job, regardless if she believes her or not.
Yep.
But yeah, I like that though. But we're gonna get back into it.
Well, I won't eat all day. I'll maybe have like coffee, or maybe I'll have a handful of whatever's around me. And then at nighttime, I'll have my meal or snacks or whatever. So I thought that meant that I was a binge eater. And the psychologist looked at me and said, "You're anorexic." And then I just started crying.
She says online hate played into her struggles.
Yeah, I am a model, right? I am successful. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been talking about, you know, self-acceptance and
really.
loving yourself. And
What do you mean?
The way she just almost like how she just said it to me was real smug. I am a model. I am successful. I am.
Right.
We believe you, but you just said you're anorexic. So if you were so anorexic and why aren't you like, you know what I mean? It don't seem like there doesn't seem to be. It just almost seemed like a real life stunt right there.
Right. It's like she's not really necessarily seeking out the help.
No, and it's almost like she's like really like making fun of it a little bit.
Right.
I am a model. I am successful.
Like she's embracing it and stuff.
She just got done telling her all the stuff she ate. She was like, I had a coffee. I laid my kids down and then I had a meal.
Right.
Honey, where in this was anorexia? Like, did you fear the coffee? Did you fear the meal?
Did you fear catching those 100 calories extra
exactly.
added
I'm just
onto
looking at her like, you don't gotta
weight.
lie to kick it, but clearly, like I said, this to me is just her generating her bag. This is the type of person that goes with.
Or maybe she's lying again just to get more people to feel sorry for her.
And she might be you know what? There are people
you can't trust people like this, especially if you know she's already
TikTokers
coming
are
up with
usually,
this whole I'm anorexic thing.
I was about to say, and TikTokers are usually should be actors and actresses, but there's no more like it takes a while to get into acting. Usually actors nowadays, they want you to go to college, they want you to actually, you know what I mean, have some form of. She ain't got time for that. She's already looking like she's in her mid 30s or
she's like 35.
Okay, so yes, she don't got time to take acting classes and stuff. She needs it now.
Right.
So, you know, you can just tell. I feel so sorry for her that she would have to generate a lie. I wouldn't want to have to come up with but then let's be honest. There's so many celebrities that do all this lying stuff just for publicity. Like they fake date at other actors and actresses all the time, knowing damn well they don't like this young man or whoever or the woman. Just, you know, these couples, they can become, what are they, celebrity couples, just so they can come up with a name.
Fat acceptance for a long time, but I still deal with it. I still get people that make me feel like, and that's okay, because unfortunately it's going to take a long time to change society's ridiculous standards. I have had people shouting at me my entire career that all I do is sit around and eat, and I was starving. I was literally starving, and I didn't realize that meant that I was anorexic. I didn't realize that I was mindfully restricting not eating.
You're saying you weren't purposely not eating in order to be skinny?
If you're anorexic, it's a purposeful thing. I think I was almost punishing myself.
And how long do you feel like you've been purposely punishing yourself?
I've had an eating disorder since when my mom almost died when I was 10. That's when it happened. So from the age of 10 until now, I've struggled with disordered eating, with restrictive eating for the past decade.
Eating disorders certainly do not occur for one simple reason. There are a million things that can go right for a person, and one thing goes wrong and an eating disorder comes to fruition. And so certainly trauma can be an initiating factor.
Eating disorders are extremely common and may affect nearly 1 in every 10 people. According to a study, about 9% of the U.S. population, almost 29 million people, will have an eating disorder in their lifetime.
There's nothing but messaging that comes from the world that says the worst thing that can happen to you is you might live in a fat body. And so if everyone is efforting to be smaller, and we know that that's just not possible for most people.
You can't look at someone and tell whether or not they're healthy. You just can't. I understand that people look at me and I don't fit what we have seen presented as the diagnosis for anorexia. But then for me, that tells me that there's a larger problem, which I've been actually saying for years, is that we have a lack of diversity and representation in the world.
Now, in recovery, Tess says she's on a healthier path, which for her includes 3 meals a day and a focus on the future.
I have been happier in the last 6 months through my recovery than I've been in my entire life. I feel whole. I feel at peace. I really feel in my power for the first time.
Okay. Now, that's literally just the most confusing video I've ever watched in my life. And like, I have so much to say about it. I don't even know if I can actually like speak it out and be like articulated with it. It's just so profound. Like, you know, it's just, there's so much wrong with this video to the point to where it's like, if anyone believes this shit, most of it, it's fucking delusional, probably like her. I like, for the simple fact that, okay, I just can't wrap my mind around how can you be anorexic but big at the same time like that. And if you're struggling with this since, well, apparently, since 10 years old.
We saw the photos of you at 10. You were clearly a regular size 10-year-old. You would have never gained all that weight. And I know that it sounds like we're being harsh or something when we're saying that, but that is just like, I'm sorry, it's just not.
It's just reality.
Yeah,
it's like it's physics.
Yeah,
you know, it's simple physics.
People will. That's what society is nowadays, though. They want you to believe what they are telling you and not what you actually can see right in front of you.
And if you got an opinion other than that, all of a sudden, you know, people got a problem with that. You know,
which is fine with me. I'm the type of person that's fine with me. You do you, I'ma do me. But that, I think that's the way nowadays. A lot of things are going that way. There's clearly a whole group of people that they see things, and we all know what the truth of it is, but even while they're seeing it, because they don't like a certain group of people, a certain look of people, a certain type of people, a certain ethnicity, culture, or whatever it may be, they have their own, they just are stuck in their ways.
Right. And I want to point out the simple fact that I don't have any problem with the whole it's your body, you know. So you can do whatever you want to do with it. But the only thing that I have an issue with is that if you're going to, you know, represent that as a thing, is that something you believe, at least do it the proper way. Don't try to manipulate people into thinking that, you know, it's okay.
Positive, but
it's okay to just be big and don't have any alternatives behind it. And then you got to think about who's going to be watching this. And I believe that the people who are going to be watching this the most are going to be children or teenagers.
And I don't think she wants to be nobody's role model.
And no, she's inevitably going to be somebody's role model because what is her platform mostly? On TikTok, right? And who's mostly on TikTok?
Young kids.
So when young kids see stuff like this, that it's okay to be big,
and then claim to be anorexic.
Yeah, and they claim to be anorexic. Exactly. That creates so much confusion and so much problems in those children's lives. And then on top of that, she just totally disregarded the simple fact that being big, you're gonna have to face all these other health conditions that comes with it.
And I think she's gonna get some. I think she wants to, because one thing about TikTok is this: when you get views, you get views. It don't matter if it's a negative view or a positive view.
Right.
All of it is a view.
It's an algorithm that she's trying to build.
And so I think she is smart. She's business-like minded. She's just trying to generate.
And she got people like us making YouTube videos about her,
exactly.
making her even more known.
You go, girl. You got us.
How
in
dare
your
her
business.
trick me to doing that?
We in your business, so you know you clearly doing something right, because we all in your business.
Well,
but
all I gotta say is we live in a whole totally different world, and if anyone's watching this YouTube video right now, be careful with what you consume. I mean, we're talking about information. I mean, we don't have any control over whether or not we are being programmed. You know, so it's whether or not what we allow to be programmed with. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I think you should also keep watching over what your kids are watching on TikTok. I really, to be honest, don't even think kids need to be on TikTok all that much, because it's majority of TikTok, if you watch it, it's just
full of women twerking on mine. So
it's geared
it's
for,
not even real content to me,
kids.
Honestly,
your kid ain't gonna get, I don't see them learning any kind of needed skills.
But yep, that's about it for this YouTube channel. Hopefully you guys liked our content, and if you guys do, make sure you like and subscribe for more future content. And until then, peace.